Alright, my review of a movie that came out on Friday, on Tuesday, when the movie came in 4th on its opening weekend. Draft Day. So Draft Day stars Kevin Costner and it takes place on the NFL Draft Day. Yeah, it all takes place in one day. I like movies that take place in one day. Draft Day, Training Day. You'd be surprised at how much can happen in one day. And Draft Day is ultimately Kevin Costner is trying to scheme with these people, and he's calling these people, making deals here, and then he's calling these people are calling him, he's making deals here. It shows the workings of what goes on behind the scenes in a draft day. He's trying to get this one dude, but he's like, does this guy have enough heart? Yeah, Gene Hackman in The Replacements, Kevin Costner in Draft Day. What we're learning is that to play proper football, you need to have heart. And that's interesting, that's exciting, and when it was all going down in the last 45 minutes of the movie, it was really cool. Everything leading up to it, I was like, it's interesting enough, but let's just get to the draft day. Although it is on draft day, but let's get to the draft. I mean, the last part of this movie, the draft, it's really intense, it's really interesting. A lot of cogs, a lot of gears are turning. I understand a lot of my demographic, they're not sports people. So we'll talk like magic cards. Ultimately, these NFL players, some, they're mythic rares, other people are rares. So do you trade 2 or 3 rares for a mythic rare? It's kind of what it's like. It's what Kevin Costner has to deal with in this movie. And there's a romance between him and Jennifer Garner, but ultimately in the romance, you're like, okay. Kevin Costner is stressed out in that day and she's expecting a baby. You find this out at the beginning of the movie. You don't feel like it really played into anything. You feel like if he wasn't dating Jennifer Garner, if she wasn't kind of pissed at him throughout this movie, if she wasn't pregnant, he would still be stressed to shit because of his job. So at that point, I look at it, I'm like, what's the point of a romance? I guess in every movie you have to have a romance somewhere. You don't, but that's the mindset, I guess. I like Dennis Leary in this movie. Of course, he's the coach. He's like, your draft picks are bullshit. You know, I'm quitting. Pretty much, he's the Philip Seymour Hoffman in Moneyball, but for this movie. And you look at this movie, it really is a Moneyball kind of movie. You know, the guy who's making the weird drafts and the weird picks is gonna make a team that actually works for him. Not conventional, but it works. And everyone else is like, your picks are shit. Don't do that. We have no faith in you. But this is underdog story. It shows how decisions that are not conventional can still be good ones. It's money football. That's what Draft Day is. Ultimately, Draft Day was funny. Kevin Costner was good in it. I'm glad Kevin Costner's getting work again. But the build-up is just a lot of talk, and you're like, you get it, because he has to talk to people, and he has to set up what will be the draft moment. He has to lay the groundwork for the epic that's to come. Even in the draft moment, it was interesting for me to watch, but is it more interesting than being interested in football and watching an actual NFL draft? I feel like football fans would just eat up the actual event. The movie was interesting enough. There were enough jokes to keep you chuckling. I'm not gonna look in the eyes and say, this is the movie you need to see today. But I like seeing the intensity and strategy that goes behind something like this. And by the end of the movie, I actually had fun with it. So I will say Draft Day is a good time, no alcohol required. Alright, so what's your favorite sports movie of all time? Whatever it is, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.